the top somehow.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song? You know, it's time for me to say greetings to the entire world. Time for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, because we are reaching and communicating with you from the wonderful federation of two beautiful islands and one lovely paradise called St. Kitts and Nevis. So we say good night as well to the entire Eastern Caribbean region. And we say good night to, we go all the way down south to Trinidad and Tobago. We go further south. We go down to Guyana. That's on the South American mainland. And next door there, Venezuela as well. And we come down to Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. They're about to inform us what has transpired today in the December the 1st election. Well, we said Dominica good night. We also the Bonsoir, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda. Montserrat, how are you doing, Montserrat? Coming close and going west, rather, to St. Eustatius, Sable, St. Bartholomew, St. Martin, and the BVI of Tortola and Igada, Virgin Gorda, the USVI, St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix, and of course the mainland over there in Puerto Rico. And we do reach and communicate with a lot of you in the Kittitian division and the Caribbean diaspora. Some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there are some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and I can also say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And those of you who continue to share the link, we extend our gratitude for that. And we must thank you for bringing us first-timers. And yes, we do have first-timers usually. It'll be strange we don't have any tonight. But if you're a first-timer, let me inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues on Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. On this program, we try to raise as well the level of national, regional, and international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting all of our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. And as your host, I will always pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness. And I'm always reminded by the words of a favorite hymn of mine, written by Thomas Jackson and Franz Joseph Haydn. And an excerpt goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right, standing firm, I should say, for godly justice, and bringing all those evil things to light. So let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, I must always remind you and inform our first-timers that absolutely nothing is watered down here on the Straight Talk. We never try to make it more interesting. We are not about sensationalism. We're not about exaggeration. We're not about creating excitement at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts. And it is my bounden duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, especially when it comes to governance, integrity, accountability, wherever you are on this globe. Because we are joined together with people across the Federation. We're joined with people right across the world, in the diaspora, all around the world. And some we know very well. Some we have met. Some we have only met spiritually. And some we will never ever meet physically. But that's okay. We entertain your views wherever they emanate from. And there are different views we entertain here, because we are different people. So diverse views are acceptable. But please, at times when we will disagree, but please don't sadden me by becoming disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation. Let's thank Almighty God for helping us to understand, I should say, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for that day when we will all sing His praise together. And we send belated greetings to the representative of constituency number 7 and former Prime Minister Timothy Sylvester Harris, who celebrated his 32nd year as a parliamentarian. Ain't that a long time? Well, welcome again, my people, and thanks for those who share the link as you bring first-timers. I must also remind you as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain your calls, and we also include your emails. And if you're so minded calling my Straight Talk family, be assured that the numbers are on your monitors. If you are one who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, we give you access via our email platform, and that address as well is on your screens. Straight Talk is also heard live. Believe it, yes, we are live on Alexa. For those of you who have access to Alexa, all you got to do is just say, Alexa, play Massive Vibes Radio. We thank the host and owner of that program, that Massive Bites Radio, for giving us access via or at a nominal cost. And believe me, it's nice and clean, just like YouTube, Facebook as well. And some of you have made donations. We are grateful for that. We say a big, big thank you. Let me reassure you, no matter the level of your contribution, it goes a long way to help us to continue this important service, a public service. So others who wish to donate can just scan that code on your screen. A very simple process. You'll access a payment form, highly confidential, and my Straight Talk family. It's all up to you. But thank you again for your support and for helping us to keep the dialogue alive. And I must, yes, by now you'll understand that and agree that I must hail the future, the young brigade, this Straight Talk Junior Brigade, I call it. Young Dwayne, Jasmine, who joined recently, Tristan, Shamar, Kevin, Young Rue, Jamal, Travis Travon, my grandson Nema, and his good friend Soraya, and his and young one Elizabeth. And those are my young brigade who want me to hail you up on Straight Talk. I do have a lot of youngsters, a lot of juniors who meet me, Mr. Straight Talk. You don't call my name, but I can't because I need a paternal or maternal. Your mother or your dad will have to tell me first it's okay. How's the special lady in St. Louis as well? Greetings to you. So my Straight Talk family, at 7:17, we normally move to our observations, and we'll move so hastily. I do apologize for my slight tardiness. I forgot to do that. Forgive me for that. But we are going to move to our observations, a time when we reflect on what was accomplished, issues we have raised, and what we have learned as a people. It's a learning process. And after our observations in review, we will begin our thesis for tonight, which I've titled, Let's Safeguard Our Democracy, Our Reputation, and Our National Interests. And our first observation, my Straight Talk family, following that clean sweep we had on Thursday last, when Ralph Gonsalves, after some 24 going on 25 years as Prime Minister, he still was begging to be lifted up. But this Vincentian people decided nonetheless to lift up Godwin Friday. God did win on Friday. And Godwin Friday was in fact sworn in as the seventh Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that was very historic for the NDP and their leader, who were in opposition for 24 years. He was. What? Isn't that patience? Isn't that faith?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Godwin Elliott Lorraine Friday. The Honorable Prime Minister will now bring his remarks.
Your Excellency, Governor General Dame Susan Duggan, my colleague and friend, the Honorable Anna Eustace, I'm so happy that you could be here with us today. Jeff Patton, the resident British Commissioner of Police, Mr. Enver Williams, members of the New Democratic Party, my colleagues and friends, senior public officials, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am humbled by the trust and the honor that has been given to me to serve in the capacity of Prime Minister of this country. I intend to do my duty, as Her Excellency has said, as a Prime Minister for all the people of this country. It is my duty to do what I can to uplift living standards, moral values, hopes and expectations of our people, to enable each and everyone to dream and aspire to a better life in this country, and to not be prevented or obstructed from doing so by partisan politics, by unnecessary interference, so that they may be able to achieve their very best for themselves, their family, and for our country. For that is the only way that we are going to go forward. I wish to thank Almighty God for the strength and courage that He has instilled within me, and for answering my prayers when there were times, and there will be times, when the challenge seemed too great. I always remember that in such times and in others when we have joy and pleasure, that we take it to the Lord in prayer. I intend to do so as Prime Minister as well.
Yes, take it to the Lord in prayer. And we understand that his entire cabinet would be sworn in tomorrow, the 2nd day of December. So they are not wasting any time and going full speed to ensure that they do the people's work. And our second observation, Straight Talk family, Straight Talk is still looking at the U.S. troop maneuver just off the coast of Venezuela. And we understand that President Maduro has been given an ultimatum. But the U.S. troop maneuver in the South Caribbean has caused some great concern amongst the people in the Caribbean and elsewhere, and in particular the leadership, as this situation has created cracks, I can call them, within CARICOM, especially since the position taken by the lead spokesperson on security within CARICOM, the new Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamla Bissessar. Remember, she made these comments some time ago.
I told you all before, and I repeat, I cannot stop repeating, some of the other CARICOM countries are not in the position that we are in. They're not so close. Their murder rate, their narco trafficking, human trafficking is not so much. We had over 600 murders in 1 year. We cannot do things the same way and expect things to change. So I remain very committed to the CARICOM. That's where we are sovereign nations. We can differ on certain points, remain committed to our community, but at the same time, Trinidad and Tobago first. Safety and security for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is my priority at this time. So, since the U.S. intervention in the Southern CARICOM and Caribbean, the murder rate has dropped. Not by as much as we wanted to drop, but it has dropped. It has made a significant difference. So I do not regret, and I will continue to support the U.S. intervention in the Southern Caribbean. This intervention can only benefit all of us in the CARICOM. I don't know what is the boogeyman narrative that has been pursued by some persons. What is wrong with having people coming to help us fight against narco-trafficking, against human trafficking? Why are you so concerned? Do you have any linkages with the drug cartels? No, we don't. And therefore, I take serious umbrage to some persons with a false narrative about this intervention and what it will do for sovereignty and what will not. What this has to do with sovereignty? What does having these people in the waters of in the South come? How does that affect your sovereignty or my sovereignty? We are still sovereign nations. So I don't see any conflict of interest with Trinidad and Tobago being the lead in the CARICOM for national security. In fact, this is a national security effort that will assist all of us in the CARICOM.
Well, there has been a difference in views amongst the CARICOM leadership. But one thing we can agree is that we can negotiate instead of going to war, or we can go to war and negotiate to end that war. But the former is much preferred in a zone of peace, as the Caribbean is supposed to be. My Straight Talk family, last week we broached the question of that palace as it was referred to, that was constructed with the funds of the central bank, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, to be certain. And we have not been able to establish what was the final cost of that residence. We only got to the earlier costs after overruns of some $22 million. And we don't know if there were further cost overruns on this building. But we cannot confirm whether the governor and his family, a family of total of 4, his wife and 2 children, whether they have actually moved into the residence. We cannot confirm that. But we can confirm that the living space in this palace is some 22,000 square feet. Believe it or not, 22,000 square feet. So if you divide that by 4 persons, a husband, a wife, and 2 children, that's well over 5,000 square feet per person, my Straight Dog family. And we have also recognized that if you do the calculation, I remember that the slow student at one point in time did in fact speak to those houses, which he still have not accounted for. We see something that will follow up in due course, whereby the housing project that should have been undertaken to produce or provide some 600 homes has not been done. And we noticed that the contractor who had an agreement with government to construct some 2,400 homes have since taken legal action against the government. We'll see how that pans out. But remember, though, that the slow student told us this about the houses, my straight dog family, and the sizes of houses that should have been constructed.
And I was happy that we had that open fair, the house fair, because it gave us an opportunity to be able to go back to the drawing board to present something that will blow the minds of our people when we are delivering the homes. Whereas a one-bedroom was 450 square feet, now a one-bedroom will be 592 square feet. A two-bedroom was 862 square feet. It's now 879 square feet. And a three-bedroom that was 1,200. Under this new initiative, a three-bedroom is 1,288 square feet. These larger homes will not attract any additional cost.
I played that, my Street Talk family, just to give you a sense in terms of the, as I said, the living space in the governor's palace. 22,000 square feet for what the slow student said he was about to construct. That would have given some 37 one-bedroom low-income houses, or 25 two-bedroom, or 17 three-bedroom affordable homes that the government was going to construct. So you get a sense about the monstrosity, the opulence, as a former prime minister referred to, in this palace, the central bank governor's palace. Our fourth observation, my straight dog family, Kaiso. We haven't said much about the Kaiso tents, but in fact, we can inform you that come the 17th of December, semi-finals would be held, and the 16 semi-finalists, I think it's the 16 semi-finalists, are there on your monitors. They will come up against King Juicy, who has vowed to defend his crown. But Queen Independent, Socrates, Big Lies, Lady Diva, and the list goes on, my straight dog family. They will all 16 come up against Juicy on the 17th of December. And just to inform you as of final observation, the vote count is still ongoing in St. Lucia, and perhaps before we close, we just may get the results from the election. Today was election day in St. Lucia, let's not forget, and we're told it's pretty close to call, and Street Talk don't want to venture there tonight, as you're most certainly with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But it's a different cup of tea, to use a colloquial term, in St. Lucia. So we'll monitor those elections over the election count, rather, and we will bring you an up-to-date, but it seems as though that Philip J. Peer will be returned to office. That's a prediction from someone I know very well. But those are my observations tonight, my Straight Talk family. And we will move right into our thesis, which I've titled, as I mentioned earlier, Safeguarding Our Democracy, Our Reputation, and Our National Interests. And my fellow citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis in particular, and my Straight Talk family generally, no matter the time of day or the place we are in St. Kitts and Nevis, the topic debated is the devious plans afoot to disregard the views of the vast majority of the entire country and proceed to recolonize parts of our beloved federation. And I mentioned before that we stand at the crossroads and our federation is facing an important decision point. We are facing a moment in our lives when we must choose between three or more paths, each leading to different outcomes. And we must decide whether to safeguard our democracy, our reputation, and our national interests. A moment that demands integrity, transparency, and unwavering dedication to the public good. Now more than ever, in light of the controversies surrounding the proposed Destiny Project in Nevis and the Special Economic Zone Initiative in St. Kitts by Gemini Integrated Commodities linked to Aquarian Consult Inc., our federation's future and reputation hang in the balance. These developments and the serious questions they raise about accountability and national interests remind us why we urgently need leaders of proven character and unquestionable credibility. We need trustees of the people's confidence, not promoters of private gain. Tonight I call on all who value democracy, good governance, and the dignity of our country to step forward, hold leaders to account, and demand that the interests of our people, not hidden agendas, but demand the interests of our people guide the decisions that shape our future. Tonight, I rise to address matters of serious public interest, matters that speak to the heart of our democracy, our integrity as a nation, and the standards to which we hold those entrusted with public office. Over the past months, the people of this federation have observed reports of increasing engagement between certain private foreign entities and members of our government. Chief among these reports is the relationship between Aquarian Consult and Aquarian Consult Inc., that should be a private Nigerian company, and its subsidiaries, including Gemini Integrated Commodities and various officials within our government. Let me be clear. As my good learned friend would say, let me be pellucid. International partnerships can bring tremendous value to our federation. Nigeria is a continental giant, an economic gateway to Africa. Through its reputation is being damaged because of corruption, perceived corruption, and the killing of Christians. But they are an economic gateway to Africa. St. Kitts and Nevis is a global gateway through our long-standing Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI. Strategic cooperation between nations and private sectors can open new doors. They do. But cooperation, my straight dog family, must never come at the expense of transparency, legality, and public trust. There are grave concerns about privately funded government travel. And reports have circulated regarding privately funded travel, charter flights, delegations, and trips allegedly financed by private corporate actors who simultaneously seek to conduct business with our government. The latest trip was posted on the Facebook page of Minister Samuel Duggins, my straight dog family. And he had the gall to post this, my straight dog family. You can read that for yourselves. Or perhaps we can read it together. Samuel Duggins, strengthen Caribbean African connections. Over the past few days, he writes, I had the privilege of leading a diverse delegation from St. Kitts and Nevis to Abuja, Nigeria, an opportunity made possible through the special invitation of Miss Aisha Maina, CEO of Aquarian Consult. The visit continued, deepened our growing partnership with Nigeria in key areas such as trade, technology, agriculture, the creative industries, youth empowerment, and cultural exchange. Our team, he said, included Deputy Prime Minister Jeffrey Hanley, Speaker of the National Assembly, Lanine Blanchett, Permanent Secretary Delreen Taylor, members of the farming and Rastafari community, business leaders, creatives, youth advocates, and community champions. Together, we engage directly with Nigerian innovators, policymakers, and cultural leaders who share our vision. This mission, he continues, comes at an historic moment. St. Kitts and Nevis has secured visa-free access to Nigeria, and we recently signed critical MOUs to advance food security, creative development, and youth opportunities. Our visit to Abuja has opened meaningful pathways for collaboration in trade, technology, youth advancement, and the creative industries. These engagements strengthen our cultural and economic ties with Nigeria and create new opportunities for our young people, our farmers, and our creatives. This is just the beginning of a partnership that will bring lasting benefits to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a powerful step, he concludes, building South-South cooperation, and I am excited as to what comes next. My straight dog family, the reports obviously seem accurate. The reports that this 20-man delegation travel was funded by Aquarius Consult, my straight dog family. Aquarian Consult, that should be. Thus, they raise very important questions that every democracy must confront. Is it appropriate for government ministers to accept travel financing from private entities? Could such arrangements create conflicts of interest, real or perceived? Could such arrangement be perceived as, or can they lead to bribery? Were these trips approved, declared, and compliant with the law? Do they meet the ethical expectations of our public? And my straight dog family, these questions are not accusations. They are legitimate inquiries that any responsible government must address openly. And I wanted to raise this matter before. For in a democracy, perception matters, accountability matters, and transparency matters. Public trust must never be purchased, not by flights, not by gifts, not by private hospitality. And my straight dog family, we must have a difficulty with Aquarian Consult who are doing business with St. Kitts are paying for the travel of ministers of government. Major national projects must proceed with clarity and oversight, because we have heard of ambitious business proposals submitted by Aquarian Consult who paid for the travel of these government ministers. Among them, a deep water port, a special economic zone spanning roughly 10 square kilometers, possible funding through the Citizenship by Investment Program, similar to other regional proposals. And my straight dog family, Aisha Maina, the CEO of Aquarian Consult. This is news provided that Nigerian entrepreneur Aisha Maina, managing director of Aquarian Consult and founder of Germany Imported Commodities, has received a $40 million investment with backing from Afrexim Bank to develop a deep water port in St. Kitts and Nevis. The initiative is part of a broader strategy to strengthen trade and logistics between Africa and the Caribbean. And she continues, my straight dog family. It continues. As you can glean from your monitors as well, that Aisha has also invested in or is attempting to promote a project under the special economic zone here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Did I provide that information for you? I'd like to provide that information for you, but I'll do that summarily, my straight dog family. But these are major undertakings. These are major projects that could reshape our economic landscape, our physical environment, and our global reputation. But let's just ask, who funds these projects? Who stands to profit? What is the structure of ownership and control? Are tendering processes competitive, fair, and transparent? Is there undue foreign influence on national development decisions? We cannot allow million-dollar initiatives to proceed in the shadows, but that's what happens under the CBI projects. There is no insistence on internationally recognized standards like a public tender, due diligence, parliamentary oversight, clear separation of private financing and public decision making, full transparency on any CBI related arrangements. This is not merely good governance, it is essential governance, my straight dog family. But Straight Talk has a problem when CEO Aisha Maina, who is doing business with the government, is funding their travel or the travel of ministers of government. And that is a recipe for bribery, corruption. Our CBI program is the backbone of our national revenue and international credibility. It must remain a tool of national development, not a vehicle for private opportunism. If any foreign domestic entity seeks to leverage Nigeria's economic influence, the reputation of our CBI program, and the authority of our elected officials, then that relationship must be defined by transparency, not secrecy, by legality and not convenience. We welcome investment, my Straight Dog family. We welcome partnerships. We welcome international entrepreneurs. But we must also demand clarity of intent, accountability, ethical conduct, public disclosure, national interest first policy making. No private company, local or foreign, should ever be in a position where it appears to influence government decisions through financial favors. Paying for the travel of these ministers is a financial favor. And we call for full transparency and public disclosure. I call for national disclosure on all trips, delegations, and engagements funded by private entities. The public has a right to know who paid, why they paid, who benefited, and what was discussed. A review of all ongoing negotiations between private companies and government ministries to ensure compliance with procurement and ethics laws. A reaffirmation of the principles governing CBI funded development projects, ensuring the public resources are not leveraged without public oversight. St. Kitts and Nevis aspire to be a model of transparency in the Caribbean, a leader in responsible development, and a defender of democratic integrity. To achieve this, we must commit to the highest standards of accountability, standards that keep our government independent, our people informed, and our nation strong. St. Kitts Nevis does not belong to any private investor, any foreign interest, or any political figure. It belongs to the people. And in their name, in the people's name, we must insist that our leaders act without undue influence. Our partnerships are fair and transparent. Our programs are protected, and our reputation is preserved. This is not a partisan matter. It is a national matter. Let transparency prevail. Let integrity lead the way. And let St. Kitts and Nevis continue to stand proud as a sovereign, respected, and principled nation. My fellow citizens, our democracy can only be as strong as the leaders we entrust to guide it. The concerns arising from projects such as the Destiny Project in Nevis and the proposed SEZ in St. Kitts underscore a deeper truth. When development is pursued without full transparency, broad consultation, or demonstrated national benefit, the people are left vulnerable, and so is our reputation as a responsible, well-governed nation. But this is not a moment for despair. It is a moment for action. First, we must insist on absolute transparency in all major investment proposals, including full disclosure of ownership structures, financing, public obligations, and long-term national impact. No project should move forward while the public remains in the dark. We must strengthen independent oversight mechanisms. These that affect our land, economy, and sovereignty must undergo rigorous review by bodies free from political or private influence. Isn't it time for a land use management plan that can guide us? Third, our government must adopt a policy of meaningful public consultation. A democracy thrives when decisions are made with the people, not merely for them, and certainly never against their will. And fourthly, we must, my Straight family, reaffirm a national standard. Leaders must be guided by integrity, not incentives, by patriotism, not personal ambition. Those who seek to govern must demonstrate not only vision, but credibility worthy of the people's trust. In this defining moment, we choose who we are. Just choose transparency over secrecy, accountability over convenience, and national interest over private arrangements. Let us stand together, vigilant, informed, and united, to protect our democracy, my people, and secure a future that honors the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Our country deserves nothing less. The growing cloud of opacity on both islands, across both sides of the Narrows in St. Kitts and Nevis. Grand development proposals have been presented with glossy promises of prosperity, jobs, ports, economic zones, new infrastructure, and international partnerships. Yet behind these announcements lies an uncomfortable truth. The public has not been given full access to the facts. In Nevis, the Destiny Project, a massive special sustainability zone, has been showcased with impressive projections and ambitious visions, but critical details remain unpublished and unknown. Who truly owns and controls the development entities? What commitments are binding and what are merely promotional? What are the land valuations, revenue sharing mechanisms, or environmental protections? On St. Kitts, the proposed special economic zone and port development tied to Gemini integrated commodities appears to be advancing under similarly limited scrutiny. Legislation was passed quickly, agreements discussed quietly, and public consultation remain minimal at best. These are not minor projects. They involve the use of our land, our coastline, our strategic assets, and our legal framework. The people should not be informed after decisions are made. The people should be part of the decision making from the beginning. Democracy dies not in explosions, but in shadows. Conflicts of interest, real, perceived, and deeply concerning. When leaders make decisions affecting public resources, the people must have absolute confidence that those decisions are free of personal influence. But today, tonight, right now, confidence is shaken. We have heard the Premier of Nevis acknowledge publicly that his spouse, a realtor by profession, acts as a broker or go-between for the developers of the Destiny Project and landowners in Nevis. Let's just be clear. Even if no rule has been formally broken, such an arrangement creates the appearance of a conflict of interest so severe that it undermines public trust. When a senior public official's immediate family stands to benefit from dealings tied to a government-endorsed project, the credibility of the entire process becomes compromised. The question is not only whether wrongdoing occurred, it is whether the arrangement creates doubt, and the answer is unmistakably yes. In a small nation, perception matters, trust matters, ethical distance matters, foreign funding, influence, and the uneasy questions they raise. On St. Kitts, there are new concerns that have emerged surrounding the involvement of foreign investors linked to the proposed SEZ. Reports I mentioned earlier indicate that the company involved in the development, whose principal is also associated with Aquarian Consult, Aisha Maina, sponsored a chartered flight that brought over 100 business delegates from Nigeria to St. Kitts for investment discussions. Aquarian Consult also reportedly funded the travel of government officials from St. Kitts to Nevis, to Nigeria, beg your pardon, to engage in South-South cooperation talks. Let us be balanced and fair. International cooperation is welcome. Investment is welcome. But when private investors fund the overseas travel of public officials, ministers, government advisors, or decision makers, this raises legitimate questions of ethical boundaries and undue influence. Such arrangements must be transparent, declared publicly, and compliant with the highest standards of governance. Where is the special prosecutor? And in the absence of a special prosecutor, where is the DPP, Adlai Smith? Why are you turning a blind eye to these things? When travel, hospitality, or negotiations involving public officials are financed by private entities with business before the government, the line between diplomacy and dependency becomes dangerously thin, and we must protect that line. Projects of this scale create a risk to national sovereignty, patrimony, and long-term well-being. Sweeping reforms to land use, zone designations, ports, foreign-owned SEZs, and massive foreign capital have long-term consequences. Once land is sold or rezoned, once environmental footprint is altered, once economic control shifts, it is often irreversible. When decisions are made under opacity, without broad public ownership or genuine community consent, we risk sacrificing patrimony and sovereignty on the altar of short-term gains. My Street Talk family. Street Talk understand that these projects will be approved CBI projects. Yet we have not heard one word from the CIU, which is now a statutory corporation. And this executive chairman, Calvin St. Just, seemed to be fooled by the fact that the CIU is now an autonomous body, but he would be wise to accept that it is a public corporation. As executive chairman, he polices himself, but again he must remind himself that the corporation is accountable to the public. The CIU is silent on the Destiny project, yet the developer told us that it is a CBI project, my Street Talk family.
Is the project a CBI project?
We're still discussing with the government, of course, but yes, the idea is that people that buy a unit can also or get a passport with that. So it also increases the CBI income, because the CBI income has been drying up substantially. It's also a big concern for the island, so it can definitely help rejuvenate the whole passport program.
The CBI Destiny project is a CBI project. Not one word from the CIU. No one knows the option. Johnson said that he will fund the first phase with what he called seed money by the Street Talk family.
From what I have read online, I can see that you are a crypto billionaire or a cash billionaire. I'm not too sure, but my question is, with a project of this magnitude, where is the funding coming from?
Yeah, Thank you. Nice to meet you. Good question too. I won't go into specifics about my net worth. I think it's always overstated, right? I can tell you that I have enough to fund this project. And like any project that's proper residential, you work through a combination of seed capital, where you fund the first phase of that. Then you will start taking deposits or payments for the units, and that will help contribute building it. And we will abide by strict rules that we cannot spend any money ourselves and then take it away. Because I know in the past there were some pyramid schemes where you start building a project and then you wait to sell the next units and you take the money already, and we will have strict accounting standards that can never happen. We will also be very transparent about that. But yeah, what we basically need is the seed capital to get to the phase where, and I already invested a lot of money to get to where we are today, right?
Who knows that this won't be another pyramid scheme? Imagine, this Belgian plans to build his enclave from the patrimony of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis through the sale of our passports under the CBI after taking their land. All he's doing is buying options, after which he will exclude the same people from entering the enclave. Seed money, he said, is $50 million. But this is just a fast money scheme for Mark, Sharon Mama Brantley, and Olivier Johnson, even though he was aware of the conflict situation. My Straight Talk family, he tried to say otherwise.
Is the project a CBI project?
We're still discussing with the government, of course, but yes, the idea is that people that buy a unit can also or get a passport with that. So it also increases the CBI income, because the CBI income has been drying up substantially. It's also a big concern for the island, so it can definitely help rejuvenate the whole passport program.
Well, my Straight Talk family, it is, yes, a CBI project. And we, in fact, intended to get you abreast of what he said. There was no conflict situation, my Straight Talk family. But there is definitely a conflict situation. We know that, and we will always say that. There is, yes, in fact, a conflict situation, my Straight Talk family.
If you're a small population, like 10,000 people, you'll always have some potential conflict of interest, because maybe your brother is in parliament. It's very hard for us to avoid, because we didn't choose real estate agents based on the connections, right? We just chose them for the qualities. And I mean, that it's also, and just take this a step further, right? Even if there was like a conflict of interest, right? There's no, I mean, you still have a cabinet to work with. The cabinet will look at that, right? So it's going to be not looked at by one person, who is the king of this thing, right? It's many other people. If somehow this would not be a sound proposal, because there was one real estate agent involved that had a potential conflict of interest, which I never played out in any way, right? And then, yeah, of course, you will still have so many people that still have to approve that. So it's not like you have a king and then he decides.
Well, he said he's a kingmaker. But the other fast money scheme will involve the Nigerian project, my Straight Talk family. Corruption and bribery is already prevalent. And our democracy, in conclusion, can only be as strong as the ethics of those who lead it. The issues surrounding the Destiny Project, the proposed SEZ in St. Kitts, and the associated dealings underscore a truth we can no longer ignore. We need transparent, accountable, and principled governance, now more than ever. Therefore, I propose the following. Mandatory full public disclosure. All large-scale development agreements must be published in full. Ownership structures, financing terms, land transactions, benefits, and obligations before approval. We need an establishment of an independent oversight commission. A non-partisan body with legal authority must review all major public-private deals free from political interference. Strict conflict of interest rules for all public officials. No minister, premier, or their immediate family should benefit directly or indirectly from any project requiring government approval. Nothing. We should never have a Sharon Mama Brantley issue again. Though that's exhaustive, my Straight Talk family, we can agree on the foregoing and let's safeguard our democracy, our reputation, and our national interest. That's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I'm going to open the lines at this time and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. And let us, my Straight Talk family, try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let's ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of doing and or saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 11 past the 9 o'clock hour. We go to the lines and take our first caller. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Liverd.
Good night, my dear. I thought it would be this call.
Democracy never guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Every generation must preserve it.
Every generation must preserve it.
Defend it and fight for it.
Defend it and
fight for it.
Fight for it.
I repeat, democracy never guaranteed. Every generation must preserve it, defend it, and fight for it. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much, my dear. Always welcome your quotations. Democracy never guaranteed. Every generation must preserve it, defend it, and fight for it. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. How are you, my brother?
I am peaceful, my dear brother. What about yourself?
Yes, you have to be peaceful. November gone, and it was a real blessing for me, Mr. Straight Talk. You see, even the little children is calling you Mr. Straight Talk now.
Yes.
And that's a blessing. Even the littlest one now are meeting you, Mr. Straight Talk. So it shows something. But your name going to change for the balance of the year. You will be Mr. Man of the Year. So that's so you can look forward to me calling you that every time that I call you until this thing done, this December done. So, because you really come out with something that nobody else can touch you, and you are doing a wonderful job, Mr. Straight Talk, and we just want to give you your jacket that you wear it. Understand? My father always said you can't give Jack his jacket when he deserves it. You ain't a man. So all of us agree that you deserve your jacket, and we're going to give you your jacket, Mr. Straight Talk of the Year. So that's where we're at. So I just want to thank you for being such a wonderful man of the hour for all of us. You saying something?
No, I said I'm humbled, my dear brother. It's all about public service. I don't do it for rewards or awards, but It's what the people decide.
We know, yes, we know, but you see, we just want to let you know that the job that you are doing
I'm grateful.
and the way you do it, there is nobody like you, so we just want to make sure that we give you your props before we can say, well, look, no. So we are doing it. So that young man there in St. Kitts, I don't know his name, I don't know who he is, but we're going to do what we got to do. I wish I could get his number and, that we can talk but I don't know, Mr. Street, that the government is not going to award you because the government going to say you're going down the wrong road with them. So we're going to have to do what we have to do. Straight Talk family. So Straight Talk family all around this thing, let's rally against our man of the year. Mr. Straight Talk, I think this is enough for tonight. But you says that house is 22,000 square feet?
Living space, that's the area inside the house, your bedrooms,
and then you break it. I was listening to you breaking it down. But why they build such a mansion for this man, for the governor?
Well, that was everybody's question. We understand. I forgot to mention this. Our Prime Minister is
Mr. Straight Talk, we having some kind of problem with the line. I don't know if it's on your end or my end.
Well, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you not hearing me? Are you there? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. We were hearing him loud and clear. If you want to come back. But, are you there, caller?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what was going on with the line. You were just coming in, cutting out.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, it's 100% better now. It's good.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was saying that.
Yes, so I don't know why the government allow that. I mean, you mean this man have a bigger mansion than the governor of St. Kitts? He have everything bigger. Why they do that?
Well,
I will never understand it.
I did the breakdown in the area. I'll be called for living space, right? Think about it. It can accommodate 27 at the 37 one-bedroom homes that Jeffrey was going to build. 25 two-bedroom homes. I think it was 17 three-bedroom homes. If you look at it, that is the size of that house. King Antoine, a good governor, mark you, but I think he got this one wrong. Are you there? Okay.
Something is wrong. We're going to have to say goodbye now. Yes, I can't hear you.
Okay,
so we'll catch up again when this problem shows. Abracadabra, detour. See you when I see you. See you soon. Okay. Something is wrong.
Okay, my brother, I'm sorry about that. We do apologize for whatever that difficulty was. We are hearing you loud and clear. You said you were not hearing me. Let's take this email in the meantime. And like I said, our lines are open. We are looking at our thesis for tonight. Let's safeguard our democracy, our reputation, and our national interests. Greetings. Great One Patches reads this email. Now is the time to tell the rattlesnake in Nevis to expedite independence. We will give you all your social security money minus 15%. It is business. You will have your own Nevis passport, and anyone from Destiny who wants a Nevis passport, that money you keep. Anyone with a Nevis passport will have to clear customs and immigration when coming to the Big Island. You can't come through to Basti to catch a flight to anywhere. Now is the time for the CCM to put on their big boy pants. You're a man now. Time to be on your own. Much respect and good night. Reads this email. This email is about our Calypso. Calypsonian Dwight or King Dwighty. Congratulations on your selection for the semi-finals. Promises an excellent song. However, Dwight, you seem to forget a number of other promises he made, such as this promise of putting an end to corruption. But under his administration, corruption has exacerbated to the extent where some of his ministers have millions in a Dubai bank. No wonder Dwyer said we would be shocked to see their bank accounts. Also, they promised that double salary was out of style and it was time for a triple salary. He also promised to increase the PAP from $500 to $1,500, but we are still waiting in vain. He promised that he had one shot for Mark the Sheriff for the foolish things he has been saying in St. Kitts. Ironically, they are now in bed together. They are a bunch of liars, deceivers, hypocrites, and misleaders. They have to go. Reads this email. This other email reads at 9:21, Sir, what you say you're not paying? Any double salary because you're building infrastructure? You're building school? You have desalination water and smart hospital? You gave Jamaica $100,000, etc., etc. Well, sir, that isn't any novel, not at all. Nothing new whatsoever. We've done accustomed to all that under Harris and Team Unity. Team Unity provided all of what you have mentioned and much more, and still gave a double Christmas double. Still gave a double salary, beg your pardon. Double salary became the norm under Team Unity and Harris. One year they even gave us a salary increase and still a Christmas double, much to our surprise. You see, Harris was an exceptional minister of finance, very hard to beat. Douglas would tell you that every time Douglas mismanaged the finances of the country, it's money Harris he turned to, or it's Harris he turned over the ministry to, for him to bring it back in order. It was surplus after surplus. When Harris handles that finance ministry, we are not interested right now with what you have done with the money, except with the millions you have spent on overseas traveling. Just bring back our double salary. For the feeble excuses you are making, according to Dwyer, this is nothing else but bull crap and BS. Reads this other email. This email reads, Brother Dwyer, many people look forward each week with eagerness to hear your enlightening and intriguing commentary. However, every Saturday or every Sunday afternoon, a man gets on the radio and do his utmost best to diminish you and negate your narration. The good thing about it is that you pay him no mind. It is as if you are saying, let the jackass break. And I agree with you. Why waste time with Sparrowhawk? Or maybe you are thinking what the book of Proverbs outlined. Answer not the fool according to his follies, foolishness. Or you may be saying, as others have concluded, that he is neither consequential or important, and you will not give him any leverage for his looking attention and noticement. This man speaks as though he is a law professor or the Chief Justice of the OECS. Which law school he attended? Mr. Dwyer, tell me something. When you were the Minister of National Security, was there a law school in jail for criminals or debtors? I can't understand this man. I know he hates King's Counsel Charles Wilkins to the core, but for a dummy to give the impression that he understands the Constitution of the Federation better than the King's Counsel has to be an inherent idiot. Reads this other email. This other email reads, Division, no matter how much sweet talk you hear from Mark, don't trust him. He is not to be trusted. take this simple scenario. When NRP was in government, Mark took the government to court for denying his opposition CCM party access to the government television station NNC. Brantley won the case for CCM to have the use of the TV station. Premier Parry, a man with integrity, respected the court decision, and CCM was able to utilize the station. Shortly after, Brantley became premier and has refused the same NRP from having access to the TV. The same court he used to get access to the station for his party has now turned around and defied the court order up to this day. So how can anyone trust Brantley with all the enticing and glamorous talking about Destiny and SSC Zone? He is not to be trusted, reads this other email. Yes, my Straight Talk family, now I'll go back to the cause. Forgive me for that. I just thought I would get the emails under control. They tend to just get over abundant when I don't address them early. It's 9:26, 26 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. If you are joining me for the first time, just to inform you that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. And my Straight Talk family, we do include your calls, we do include your emails. It's a practice after some changes with the program to present a thesis each program. And tonight's thesis we titled Let's Safeguard Our Democracy, Our Reputation, and Our National Interest. Because what's happening in St. Kitts, my Straight Talk family, and when we hear our Prime Minister in particular speaking, it becomes a vexation to the spirit. And at times, we just have to ignore him. But let's go to the lines and get back to that trend of talk. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Greetings, Mr. Patches. How are you?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself? Greetings.
Very good, myself. Listen to your spicy topic. Safeguard our democracy. Very good. It is true that the concept of democracy is universally accepted. It is, however, no less true to say that there are as many types of democracy as there are nations in the world, since the underlying spirit of each type of democracy is imparted to it by the nation that puts it into effect in its own individual and particular way. Democracy evolved by stage, gradually. Democracy as a share of the people's voice is the conduct of their own affairs. Mr. Patches, you question the traveling and you give your analyzation of how it is. And you're not wrong by questioning donations given to ministers or whoever or bodies, because in America, President Trump, he was impeached quick before, and just the other day again, they tried to harass him pertaining gifts he gets from one of those countries. So giving gifts or contribution from any investor to ministers must be questionable. It must be. We are human beings. We can't run from that. And why, Mr. Patches, everything is about zones about the federation. the minute we can carry ourselves into a situation like that, Mr. Patches, there's no liberation for the people. So why we have been saying we have a democracy, but we cannot feel it evolving? We have ourselves feel like we will have a rotating democracy. We ain't going nowhere. Because if we feel the only development is through zones, I mean, our ministers are getting very lazy because they're going to depend on the zones to say that run the economy. It's all we under one sky. There's a separation of the sky. If there was a separation of the sky, I could understand that. But we are under one sky. So wherever done here, everybody must feel it. You talk about the governor mansion, Mr. Patches. I always said before the development at that place, when the government was seeing about the land, a Labour government, you know. I said Beacon Heights should have been given out to the Buckley's people and those people in the surrounding areas. We call it, the toil. There was the uprising. So make them feel genuinely a part of their development. When you go up on Beacon Heights and your people on Buckley's in a hole, take your people out of that. Put them up on Beacon Heights. These were black people, the so on black people, you sell out the land them up there to ordinary people. That's what should have happened. But that didn't happen. So it's something you ask the question, where is our interest? For the people or just for business? Mr. Patches, you continue to be strong. Stay healthy. God bless.
God bless you as well, and dear brother. Thank you for your usual sound contributions. And yes, the company, I'm making the point, the company that is funding the travel of the minister or ministers is involved in developments and kits. Aisha Maina from Aquarian Consult even sponsored a chartered flight. But my Dog family, it has to be questioned. It has to be questioned. Caller, you're live.
Patches, good night.
Good night, sir.
This is Mr. Politics here.
How are you, Politics?
Not too bad. And I always want to thank God for the Federation of St. Nevis, a blessed true country. And I believe that if we let the right people to look over the face of our country, we wouldn't have the situation of where we got in right now. Patches.
Sure, I believe you.
Patches, let me tell you something. I was a supporter of PAM back in the time, up to the unity, when they reach unity. And after this unity failed, because of whatever between the ministers, them and whatever, they want to come together. I decided I'm going to go up and look profile. Because I was well disappointed because the unity was doing well, they was going good. And everybody was saying how good they're going. And Patches Unity taught me a lot about the blind politics. You understand? And right now, I'm not in the politics with nobody. I about my country. And I about seeing my country doing well. Because when after unity failed, the people and Dr. Joe, a young man with the Youth Labour Party get in, and the campaign say what they're going to do and say what they're going to say. I was thinking it different. It will be different too. Where other administration was doing, going forward. Because they criticized the farm administration was there for 7 years. Said this and that, and they was doing, apart the council, they was doing well because people said they was doing well. And now, Patches, the things that I'm hearing right now, I want to know one of these is if we're going to lose our country. The things are here right now. I want to know one of these days if we're going to lose this country. But let me tell you something. As I tell people, me in the politics with nobody because I don't even know what political side up and right now because of what takes place. But I am about my country and see my country going forward with wherever the administration, the people elect and whatever. But this thing ain't sounding good, especially with our land. But let me tell you something, right? As far as when I listen to a lot of young people say that they ain't got piece of land. Up to tonight, I met some young lady, and a young lady with some mostly 3 children, and she tell me she not have Mr. Me not have land, me not have land. I said, let me tell you something. Well, 4 parents went through with his land. We done pay for this land. And I believe that each national of this country who born here, even if they can't pay for the land, and they got to pay down something for get piece of land, they pay down something at the piece of land. But when you hear this zone, land one zone of foreign investors, white man and all kind of people come in. I have nothing against white people. I have nothing against white man. I have nothing against white people. Because we black people are our own downfall. And I always hear people say, Patches, it come like the worst set of slave come from Africa coming to sink it. We ain't love one another, Patches. We ain't love one another. We ain't love the country. Because when we're going to listen to politicians and hear politicians doing these things to all people in this country, go through out land and the masses now come forward and say nothing and do nothing. You understand? Patties, where we going? Where we going? Patties, one of these days we're going to lose it. I might live to see it. You might live to see it. But one of these days we're going to lose this blessed country. Not wrong with the country, no, Patties. It's the people in the country. The people we got here, the people who in the country is the problem of the country. Patties, have a wonderful night. May God bless you and keep you. And continue to do and continue to deliver and let the people know what's going on in St. Nevis. Blessed.
Blessed, my brother. God continue to bless you as well. And it's not just about land. It is over there in Nevis, it is 2,400 acres of land. And it's not just about 2,400 acres of land, my people. There's some 10,000 persons, 10,000 settlers, someone referred to, would come to Nevis. That's about 80% of the population in Nevis. And under the CBI, 10,000 shares, they anticipate 4 per family. The applicant, a spouse, and 2 children. So that can take it to 40,000 persons. You must know this. You signed 2,200 certificates of registration. 2,200 passports he issued under his watch. Even though he tried to blame it on someone else. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night.
How is the Bible, man? Good night, sir.
Good night. Now, Badges, I am going to ask a question. Ralph Gonzalez lose the election?
Yes, he lost it badly.
Okay.
He lost 14-1.
Wow. Now you hear what the Bible says in Psalm 75, Patches?
Unto thee?
We say, promotion neither come from the east nor the west.
Yes, that's right.
Nor the south.
God is a judge.
You hear me say, God is a giver of all. He put up one and take down another. Well, the Bible don't tell you. You hear me, Patrick? Well, the last of the scripture, I'm going to get you tonight. A lot of the scripture is, I am going to give you, and that is your favorite one. God, Psalm 41. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor, and the Lord shall deliver him. That's it. You see, we start from St. Vincent. He coming down bodies. Hey, hey! Body be coming down. You understand in the car where the whole car when you link up, eh? That is, he moving through. So, that is, God is the giver of all. And God put up one and take down another. I did have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well, Mr. Bible Man. Yes, to thee we give thanks. And I was saying, before we went to that call, that Aquarian Consult reportedly funded the travel of that delegation of 20 persons to Nigeria to engage in what they call the South-South cooperation talks. And let us, like I said, be balanced, let us be fair. International cooperation is welcome, investment is welcome, but when private investors fund the overseas travel of ministers of government, that raises legitimate questions of ethical issues. Caller? Okay, I lost that caller. I'm sorry about that caller. It raises legitimate questions, I said, of ethical boundaries and undue influence. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Libert. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yes, I'm here. Giving God thanks. How is your family? Everybody's okay?
Yeah, doing well. Thank God.
I'm glad to hear that.
What about your
God
family?
is good. Oh, everybody's okay. Everybody's blessed. Everybody of my family tonight is blessed. My grandchildren, my brothers, everybody. I don't have no mother and no father. They all, the Lord take them.
Okay.
But the rest of my family, we are blessed tonight.
Okay.
And we are in good health from the Almighty God. What I calling to say tonight, everybody in this country here, very disappointing, very disappointed in this Prime Minister.
Are you there? Okay, we seem to have lost the caller. I don't know why it always happens. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Libert, I get cut off. I don't know why, but I have money on my phone, but I don't know why. All this money that the Prime Minister walking up and doing all kind of manner evil here in the cabal them. And all the money with Crystal Harbour gone with. But really going on in this place here. Everybody right now, Mr. Lloyd, but everybody has to tongue horses, you know. Everybody in this country has to tongue horses. Something really going on in this place here. We don't have a fair government. We don't have an honest government. We don't have a loving and a caring government. We have a government putting on and spending on revenge on everybody, even the one who vote to them. But he gonna stop right there, the Prime Minister gonna stop right there, and he gonna empty backside. Because the kind of people that he take that want him, and he avoids them, I tell you, war beyond war. You see what happened down in St. Vincent? He's coming to think it. When God see too much, he gonna move them the wrath of God tonight. Gonna move this Prime Minister, yeah? And the one is up and Nevis. Because all of them join together as bodies now. For the wrath of God gonna move them. St. Vincent don't get the one. Think it don't get the one. People think it and Nevis. Whenever election come out, you get these people out, you know. None of them come with the this and come with the that. And talk about them fool are you and brainwash are you. And put them back in there. Get the way that them the same time that in Timothy. And we're gonna come back on the backside to harm them. Because they ain't doing nothing for the country, they ain't bringing nothing good to the country. Right now, people are eating out of back and neck and right. Huh? Like with that slavery in the place. We have to get the rid of them because they ain't doing nothing good in the place. They're not doing nothing good, Mr. Libard. Huh? They're cutting out people, come on. The hot meat for the children, them down the school door to bag it, healthy lunch. This woman in a town up there, we're blind. She husband ain't blind, but she blind. They stop getting $500. All kind of things they stop in this country from poor people. But Timothy used to be poor people. They're pulling up the backside with people tax money. They're reaping the goodness of wherever that reaping inside there. Labor is the problem right now, Mr. Lloyd. And we cannot sit back and talk and talk and talk. We have to do action. We cannot just sit back and watch these people mash up thinking, ruin thinking, pull down thinking. Everybody feel it, even they want to put them in that feeling now. I'm very tonight, I'm here. People are thinking that you get all the people there, you know. Whenever election come, get them out, you know. Because they ain't bringing none good to the country and they ain't doing none good to the people them in this place. I never see a thing like this.
Okay, my dear. Thank you.
I never see a thing like this, Mr. Lloyd, underneath this government here.
Thank you.
I never see a thing like this. That with the goodness of labor. And poor people must go to hell for them. The same people put them inside there, and the same people can take them out.
Okay, my dear. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Kalaikon's aunt.
I will want to meet you. I will want to meet you.
Yeah, I want to meet you as well.
Yes, baby. I will want to meet you.
Okay. We look forward to that.
Yes, baby.
Okay. Okay. Have yourself a good night. That's we know her as Kalaikon's aunt. And she's a Bergen from the capital, the town of Sandy Point, my Straight Talk family. But I wanted to let us reflect on this Aquarian consult. And here's an interesting insight into this company.
Why Nigeria, a company in Nigeria, or why Nigeria, is that there has been quite a lot of conversations about bridging the gap between Africa and the Caribbean. We in St. Kitts and Nevis also had a summit where Aquarium Consult was represented, and you had people from all over the world because they were invited by the Prime Minister to come, listen, see. I used to be the CEO of the Investment Promotion Agency, and one of my tagline was a place to visit, a place to live, a place to invest, a place to play. And we thought that this was a good idea to partner with Aquarium Consult and try to bring more of a bridge. My Prime Minister will be here for the summit. He's one of the keynote speakers at the opening ceremony. He's never had an opportunity to visit anywhere in Africa, and he is over the moon about coming to Nigeria as his first place in Africa that he is visiting.
Well, he's still over the moon, no doubt. But let's go back to the lines, my Straight Dog family, and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Let's take this other caller. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Listen to the telephone. Okay, that caller is not really listening to the telephone. See if the caller will get back to us. But my Straight Talk family, it's 10 before the 10 o'clock hour. And we normally have Straight Talk from 8 to 10 in the PM. In recent times, I've been giving you some extra time because we have no impediments to broadcast as long as we wish. But let's see what we'll do tonight. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, good evening, man.
Good evening.
Good night to you and the listeners home and abroad.
Good night, sir.
Yes, if my memory served me right, Mayor Adams in New York had a scandal that was brewing on him about, his travels to Turkey and also something to do with that Turkey embassy there in New York. Whatever that was about really took a toll on him. He had to drop out the mayoral race in New York. We're seeing all manner. I'm seeing a lot of comparisons of such things that's happening in St. Nevis. And gifts is gifts. Gifts comes in different form. And we can remember how a lot of talk was about the team unity with some of those scandals. Yet still we see the scandals has gone to another level. And one quick question is when these ministers' trips are being sponsored, right? I mean, the transparency is not there at all. But if these trips are being sponsored, do they still take the per diem from the treasury?
Well, I can't confirm that, but I can't confirm it. I heard so, but I can't confirm it.
And additionally, yes, Jensen is a white boy. No doubt about that. And to hear him on the podcast that he's giving us an ultimatum, 36 days to sign. That's very disappointing that our leaders letting this happen to our small federation. And I'm going to point to both leaders on both islands, the Premier and the Prime Minister. But I especially want to point at the Prime Minister because we know the first national hero won't stand for that. The ideology of his party and that first national hero, he's not following in his lead. And to see that white boy giving us an ultimatum is it's put the spotlight on the Prime Minister. And lastly, the way how the Premier is acting on the Nevis side, it's out of order. No one can convince me there is no conflict of interest there with that land situation. And the Prime Minister needs to step up and act like the Prime Minister of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'll leave it there, man. You guys have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my brother. Yes, he gave the governments, I say governments because they're both governments, he confirmed he's speaking to both governments, and he did in fact say that he would like to end this or would not like to go into the new year, I think is what he said. I'll get the exact comments from him so we don't fabricate anything. And this is exactly what he did in fact say. But here's what. Let's take this call and we'll come right back. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
The party is me again. Politics me again. Party is the reason why I say these things, right? If these politicians who we elect, some of them, if they did love the country and love the people, party is the sugar industry. When the sugar industry closed, with the performance of the CBI program, each and every farmer in this country should have helped feed this country, whether you do it by livestock, whether you do it by ground farming, plant pumpkin, plant sweet potato planting, because the land them was there. We wouldn't have got to depend on no much foreign stuff to come into this country. That is the only thing you can't do. You can't find a good coconut tree in this country right now. You don't can't find sweet potato in the market. You understand? And that's why the critician single people them like one another, like love one another. That's why the situation like where you be right now. Because some people align themselves to political parties. All that are in government and they see performing to them are doing whatever the country wants. And this is my problem. This is my problem. I don't know who else's problem. If Dr. Joe continues, when he gets in there, he say, what he going to do here, Patis? But me not be full strong support behind him. Me not must say that, me not support him as no labor man or nothing. But I be strong support and talk good about what he's doing. But when you come and when you put aside something and you come and you continue the same thing and you criticize it, man, it make the nation look bad. It make like everybody in the country a fool. Okay. And these are people who educated and people who know better. They don't want to speak out because what happened? Everybody free to talk. And they free to talk. They're going to rum shop go grumble something. They're going to some restaurant go grumble something. But nobody want to come out publicly and say wrong is wrong and right is right. You understand? Yep. Because maybe somebody get something under the table or whatever.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, then, Patrick, then you're all right, man. You take care.
Thanks a lot for your contribution. And yes, this is what he said about not going into the new year.
All the rumors that we already have a contract signed is completely false. So we're still negotiating with the government. We are in advanced negotiations, so we made it pretty far. But that might still take, I don't know how long, a couple of weeks, or hopefully sooner. I definitely don't want to have this go past New Year if we can, but we'll see where we end up.
Yes, doesn't want it to go past New Year. That's the deadline he gave them. Caller, you live.
Thank you. Good night, Brother Patches.
Good night.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. The whole world is listening to you.
It is the voice of Winston Welcome, an independent candidate for the next upcoming election federally. Patches, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to go around the bush, and I'm not going to disrespect the rule of gravity on your show. But this is what I'm saying, and the buck stop here. The Prime Minister and the Premier, in respect to any transaction for the rest of the year moving forward, and all shysty, shady, suspicious deals, okay? I need it to be stopped immediately. They are selling out the country, and I cannot tolerate that no more. I am one person who is a very concerned citizen of our country, of my country. It doesn't belong to one man, okay? And if they continue to do that, all I'm asking the people to do, give me a seat, electorally and selectively, give me the prime ministership, and I'll deal with all these problems. Because we're going around the bush too much. I am not in that. Okay? It must be stopped immediately. Jensen deal got to be stopped. Okay? Any SSD's deal moving forward have to be stopped. It's a no. Okay? I'm not playing by their rules. I'm playing by my rules. Okay? I am a born, genuine, national Kittian. No one can come here and tell me what to do on my land, else there will be problems. And the problem is to clean them up and get them out. I will stop there for now. No Jew, no Premier Brantley. Stop the nonsense. Stop the bullcrap. Okay? Not for sale. And stop being corrupted. Stop take bribes. Who do you all think you all are? Huh? You all are wrong and moving the country in a wrong direction. Stop.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. As we wind down tonight's programming, I'm going to just take a few more calls, but I wanted to make the point is that the company or individual that's sponsoring the cost of travel for these ministers, in fact, have business before the government. So come on. What is that, an act of bribery? When private investors fund the overseas travel of public officials, ministers of government in particular, this raises legitimate questions of ethical boundaries and undue influence. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
A pleasant good evening to you.
Good evening, my dear. How are you?
How are you?
I am peaceful. I'm peaceful.
I am hearing that for another noise.
That's still the dimple lady.
Yes. Hearing that. But I really like to know if it's only the export here getting answer to go away. That's why we really like to know. Because 20 of them gone now. Are 20 get sponsors to go away too?
So we're told.
And what are Colonji government? Because he gone too.
He's part of the delegation.
So I will let you know. Huh?
I don't think he's, well, I don't know. I didn't recognize him in the picture there.
He ended this time in the 20s.
He went to Shashamani. He went to Ethiopia with the Prime Minister. I don't think he's in this.
Oh, that he's not this one here too.
But I haven't recognized him in this one. But you may be right. I'll have to look at it closely.
After you hear my tips so far, then he get attracted too.
Well,
and you see, you know, 30 position, if I she gonna get to plot instead of the curriculum them that she have to get up and meet from going to the bathroom or fix them. What a Jeffrey down there for two? He gonna go get another set of man to build again. And the balance, the rest of them are gone there. That's why they're taking too much advantage of us in this country. Now with 20, whether they get sponsors or get sponsors not, it's going to be something for something, Patrick. That's all. Why are 20 have been gone this year? What are the motive? What is the position? That 20 have gone there one time. You do not know. They might get sponsor, and you still not see what they get sponsor to go over there for, because you ain't see them bring back in nothing. They bring back nothing at all. So I really don't see the thing that they gone over there for.
Okay. Are you there?
Yes. If you can hear me.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We really like to know what all of them had to go over there for. 20 of them. What they gone for? Not what advantage. and God don't like it ugly. It's the people. And it's too much nothing.
Okay.
As the end doing the work and they get 30%. So he paid the double salary. And I hope that bang them out to come and talk about the double salary. Shouldn't pay no double salary. You make the pay. And then they're doing the work and they take 36%. Pay the double salary. You got money to go up and down and this and that and the other. Pay the double salary to the people.
Okay, thank you.
But, yes, and that's over there. That's over there. Judas. Oh, yes. It features in general. Because it's so low, bad and wicked that the features are cheap. Okay. Have a blessed night.
Have a blessed night as well. We do apologize for the quality of that call, but we seem to have the news just coming in that the St. Lucia Labour Party of Philip Peer has been returned to office after that snap election. We have just learned that the St. Lucia Labour Party has been returned to office. We don't know what is the actual results, but the people are in the streets, and Philip Peer has been returned to office. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Leiber.
Yes, my dear.
St. Lucia and the Grenadines. St. Lucia.
Yes, St. Lucia.
Election was today. And St. Vincent one was last week. You see how early they already counted the votes?
Yes.
And we here think it Nevis up until 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next day we not finish.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because they know how they're trying to steal election all the time. That's what they do every time election. Have a great evening.
Have a great evening as well. Yes, so St. Lucia results are in. The people are celebrating the return to office of Philip J. Peer and his St. Lucia Labour Party. And I think the polls were closed at 6 o'clock this evening. And we do have the results already in, and the celebrations on the way. So at 10:07 tonight, we can confirm that the St. Lucia Labour Party has been returned to office under Philip J. Peer, who in fact called elections 1 year before they were constitutionally due. And he went back to the people for a mandate, and it seems as though he has in fact got that mandate from the people of St. Lucia. St. Lucia Labour Party under Philip J. Peer has been returned to office in St. Lucia, and the people are celebrating there. A different result on Thursday, when the world boss was begging for help, begging to be lifted up, and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines were not having anything of that. But we'll wind down tonight's program in my Straight Dog family. And as we were saying just before we went to this call, that when private investors fund the overseas travels of ministers or advisors or public officials, but in particular ministers of government, especially private investors that have business before the government, and Aquarian Consult have business before the government. It raises cause for concern. But my Straight Talk family, as we wind down tonight's programming, we looked at the issue of the projects before the governments, that on Nevis, the NIA, and that on St. Kitts. And both projects we submit are a risk to national sovereignty, our patrimony, and long-term well-being. Because projects of this scale, or these scales, I should say, although we haven't, well, we've seen both, because the SEZ project on St. Kitts, it's a 10 square mile, 10 square kilometer area. But projects of these scales have long-term consequences. And once land is sold or rezoned, once environmental footprint is altered, once economic control shifts, it is often irreversible. And when decisions are made in the dark, without broad public ownership or genuine community consent, we risk sacrificing patrimony and sovereignty on the altar of short-term gains. And these projects, we understand, will be approved CBI projects. Yet we have not heard one word from the Citizenship and Investment Unit, which is now a statutory corporation. And as I said before, and I say again, this executive chairman seems to be fooled by the fact that the CIU is now an autonomous body, but he would be wise enough to accept that it is a public corporation. And as executive chairman, though he polices himself, again we must remind him that the corporation, the statutory corporation, of which he now chairs, a fact of which he is the executive chairman, is accountable to the public. The CIU is silent on the Destiny project, yet the developer himself said it is a CBI project. He said it, my Straight Talk family.
Is the project a CBI project?
We're still discussing with the government, of course, but yes, the idea is that people that buy a unit can also, get a passport with that. So it also increases the CBI income, because the CBI income has been drying up substantially. It's also a big concern for the island, so it can definitely help rejuvenate the whole passport program.
And Mark, Anthony Graham Brantley has proposed to Terence Michael Drew that money, CBI money, will be collected in Nevis. How absurd, how idiotic could the Prime Minister be to agree to that? But no one as yet knows the option. But Jensen said he will fund the first phase. Is this a PBO option? We asked, my Straight Talk family. We asked that question before.
From what I have read online, I can see that you are a crypto billionaire or a cash billionaire. I'm not too sure, but my question is, with a project of this magnitude, where is the funding coming from?
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you. Good question too. I won't go into specifics about my net worth. I think it's always overstated, right? I can tell you that I have enough to fund this project, and like any project that's proper residential, you work through a combination of seed capital, where you fund the first phase of that. Then you will start taking deposits or payments for the units, and that will help contribute building it. And we will abide by strict rules that we cannot spend any money ourselves and take it away, because I know in the past there were some pyramid schemes where you start building a project and then you wait to sell the next units and you take the money already, and we will have strict accounting standards that can never happen. We will also be very transparent about that. But yeah, what we basically need is the seed capital to get to the phase where and already invested a lot of money to get to where we are today, right?
And yes, he may not want to discuss his finances, but please don't say he's a billionaire. He's not. Imagine this Belgian, nonetheless, plans to build an enclave from the patrimony of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis through the sale of our passports under CBI, after taking their land. He's buying options after which he will exclude the same people from whom he bought the land from entering this enclave. Seed money, he said, is $50 million. But this is just a fast money scheme for Mark, Sharon Mama Brantley, and Olivia Johnson. Caller, I'm going to guide you by the rules of brevity. You're live.
No problem with that. Good night, sir. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Okay, man. I'm cool. I've been tempted to call you earlier in the program, but it's at last minute. You said something about... First of all, let me say to Mr. Welcome here to be home to campaign. You can't campaign from outside there if you want people to vote for him. That's one. And the other thing, that is, I want to go and listen to your program. I got in the kitchen, no water. That is, nobody tell me. In about the middle of July, God, the minister said, in a few weeks' time, the water problem going to be solved. That is, in December, the problem ain't solved yet. The problem ain't solved yet. Yep. You hear me?
Yep. I hear you very well.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to say. Because they don't think they can fool people, you know. I live here in Taylor, you know. You think we know we got this water problem, Patterson? Washington Article High School, they have to suspend school many times because of the water problem. This is Chukai talking, huh?
Yes, Chukai, we know.
Okay, good. Anyway, good night. Thanks for hearing me.
Good night, my dear brother. The engineer, the soca engineer, is just like an empty vessel, makes a lot of noise. But our democracy can only be strong or be as strong as the ethics of those who lead it. The issues surrounding the Destiny Project and the proposed special economic zone in St. Kitts and the associated dealings underscore truth we can no longer ignore. We need transparent, accountable, and principled governance now more than ever. And I proposed earlier the mandatory full public disclosure, establishment of an independent oversight commission, strict conflict of interest rules for all public officials. And my Straight Talk family, though not exhaustive, we can agree. My Straight Talk family, and we can agree to safeguard our democracy, our reputation, and our national interests. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. But I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, the many listeners, those who sent emails and those who called. Remember, all of you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. So until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday, keep moving on. Bye-bye, my Straight Talk family.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. Down